Money FM 89.3. Best of Friday Night Live. Thank goodness it's Friday.
And sitting across from the Money FM studio table, we have the current SPWC champion, former SPW Singapore champion, former two-time SPWC tag team champion, first to win the 3 major title in Singapore Pro Wrestling, and the list goes on. It's none other than the Butcherman. Yeah. Welcome to the studio, Daniel.
So sorry, I didn't have my medicated glasses. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
How was the intro?
Oh, awesome. Like, thank you so much for saying all my accolades.
Like, just him walking in here, like, I mean, there was that huge wrestling aura just emitting out of him. But welcome to the studio, Daniel. He is the full-time first aid trainer as well as a pro wrestler. And of course, I'm sure many of you have got questions for him. So 8855-0893. Text us everything you want to ask about wrestling and what it's like to be a pro wrestler here. But first, Daniel, let's get straight into the interview. How did you get into pro wrestling in Singapore?
For most wrestlers in Singapore, we normally start off as a fan.
Yeah.
So I started watching wrestling when I was 5 years of age.
Who's your favorite?
So the first person that caught my eye was Kane. So back then when he was still wearing the mask. So I remember I was at my cousin's place.
Yeah.
So they were telling me you should watch this wrestling thing because Kane is going to choke slam Undertaker through the ring. So I was like, okay, I don't know who this Kane guy is. I don't know who this Undertaker guy is. So I'm just going to watch. And when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, what is this awesomeness?
Yeah.
So ever since then, I just really loved it. I think when I was 13 years old, then I was like, okay, I think it's something that I want to do when I grew up.
Wow, you started from 13.
Yeah, so didn't really want to be a pilot or doctor or anything that my parents tried to ask me to be.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be a wrestler. So it was in 2014, that was when I met up with the owner of SPW, the Statement Andrew Tang. So he gave me a free trial class. I tried it, loved it. Then ever since then, just became a pro wrestler.
Wow. And how many years is that now, roughly?
Yeah, so this will be my 9th year in wrestling. Wow. So next year will be the 10-year anniversary.
And what was the response from family and friends? Look, typical Singapore stereotype, we're conservative, we don't like boxing, we don't like martial arts, we don't like wrestling. What was the family response when you told them, I'm going to be a pro wrestler?
Yeah, so I remember when I first told my parents, this was I think 2012. I just finished my A-levels and then I was like, okay, mom and dad, I need to sit you guys down, I need to tell you something. And then I started crying. I was just like, oh. Yeah. And they thought I was gonna confess something really big. I got a girl pregnant or something like that. Yeah. So when I told them that I was going to be a pro wrestler or I had the intention to do so, they were like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad.
Wow. It could have been worse.
Yeah. Exactly,
yeah.
But they did tell me though, if you can find a backup plan first,
okay,
then you go ahead and chase your dreams.
Yeah.
So luckily after national service, I became a first aid trainer. So that was my backup.
Yeah.
And then now I'm just chasing my dream.
And that's the thing I want to dive a little bit more into. Because when I look at you, I mean, I texted him in the first place. And I was like, could you send me some pictures of yourself? Because for social media promotions, right? He sent me bloody pictures of himself. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's part of wrestling, right? And then he said, I'm actually a full-time first aid trainer as well. So how do you mix that together? How do people normally react when you tell them that you're full-time?
You give pain and you repair pain.
So, I got the skills in national service and I felt that it's a very useful skill to have. And I think everybody should be certified in first aid. So, in terms of juggling it, I think it's useful for me and also my fellow wrestlers.
Yeah.
So, there's been many times where my fellow wrestlers get injured. And the first person they look to is me. So I'll be the one that's treating them. I'll be the one that's just checking whether they broke any bones or see how serious their wounds are. In fact, last Friday when we had our show, I had a cut on my forehead. And then when the medic came to me, I was like, okay, you just give me the gauze, give me the bandage, I'll treat it myself.
Wow.
That's all okay, yeah.
Now, in wrestling, as everybody knows, you have to have a persona.
Yeah.
You have to develop a personality. You are a cleaver-wielding cannibal.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So I first, like, when I was told that I was going to make my debut in 2016, basically, like, the promoter said, okay, I need you to come up with a character or gimmick that we call in pro wrestling, and something that fans can easily, like, identify with. So I was just thinking, what is the energy that I want to bring out? So I was just thinking, okay, so, like, I'm not like the cocky, arrogant type. I'm not really the flashy type. I feel like I'm very intense, and I always, like, move forward and, you know, try to dive towards my opponent. So I was thinking, okay, so think of that energy. Okay, so moving forward, intense, violent, butcher,
Cannibal.
slaughter,
Yeah, anything bloody. Yeah.
Okay, like, maybe we can work with this butcher. So the name Butcherman actually originated in Nepal. So I was having my first ever, like, overseas wrestling trip in Nepal, and I told the promoter, so I'm going to be the butcher boy.
Oh.
That was my first wrestling name. And the promoter said, I think Butcher Boy doesn't really sound that strong. I think you should be a Butcher Man.
Yeah.
So I guess, in a way, like, Nepal allowed me to promote myself from Butcher Boy to Butcher Man.
Wow.
And the thing is, there's many butchers in pro wrestling.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you have to check, like, copyright? Or
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so, like, there's many butchers, like, since the beginning of, like, pro wrestling, but there's never been a Butcher Man. So I just thought,
Oh.
okay, like, might as well just make it my own brand.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? There was this, I think if you watched the first Spider-Man, and when Spider-Man, before he came out for the cage fight, right, he was like, call me the Spider Boy or
human
something.
spider,
The human
yeah.
spider or something like that. And the announcer was like, what? That's a lame name. I'm going to call you Spider-Man. So that reminds me a little bit of that. But I'm actually quite curious to know, because when it comes to wrestling, a lot of it, I think a lot of us would associate it with acting. A lot of fancy moves that otherwise some would have said it's like planned before.
Yes.
So how much of the Butcherman are you, and how much of it is theatre?
I was just thinking about this recently. I think the Butcher Man character just derives from when I was in school. Like, I was the quiet type, the reserved type. Don't really have, like, much friends back then. But it was like the suppressed part of me that wanted to be outgoing, that wanted to just, you know, for lack of a better term, just, like, explode and just make sure that everybody knows who I am. And I don't know how it deformed into some sort of, like, monster that became the Butcherman. So I would just say that, like, all the suppressed emotions inside of me just let out when I go into the wrestling ring.
Like a different persona of sorts.
Yeah, that type of thing.
It's very interesting that, because someone you know, Alexis Lee,
Yes.
who's also a female champion in Singapore, I wrote a TV show for her once, and she said almost exactly the same as you. And I've heard this in the wrestling community.
Yes.
Sometimes it's kids who were bullied at school.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was shy people, depressed people. And wrestling allows them to sort of find their true personality.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you find that yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, there are other, like, inspirations that I draw from. So the two biggest inspirations is actually the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, like, Leatherface.
Yep.
That's one. But there's also another extreme where I got inspiration from the Tasmanian Devil and Cookie Monster. Just because, like, I want to make the Butcherman character not really like a monster to be feared, but a monster to be loved.
So what's your signature move or signature routine?
Yeah, so I have two main signature moves. So one is called the meat splatter, and one's called the meat head suplex.
Whoa, I like that. Can you try on us later? Try on Neil.
Sure, no problem. No, but, like,
got bones to break.
I'm kind of scared of nitpicking Neil. So, like,
Yes. Hey, he will sit you down for 45 minutes and nitpick on every little flaw that you have.
I will.
Okay.
I'll think I'll just admit it.
All right. Now, of course, we're a fitness segment, right? And we got to talk a little bit more about the fitness aspect of it when it comes to wrestling.
Yes.
How physically demanding would you say is wrestling?
I would say is the most physically, like, taxing thing I've ever done in my life. Just because it's not only physical, but it's also mental. So the main concern or the main worry you always have is the other person's safety. And of course, your own safety. So everything we do, we just repeat and repeat and repeat. All the moves, all the falls, all the, like, performative, like, aspects also. We just try to make sure that everything is safe. And also, like, another level is make it safe, but also make it look as good and as real as possible. Yeah.
And speaking of fitness, how has your fitness routine evolved as you've got older, more experienced, more professional? How has it changed?
Yeah, so to be honest, like, most of my fitness routines all just like originate or just revolve in the ring. So normally all my exercises I do in the ring. So what I would do, I'll start off with cardio first. So before anybody even like enters the training center, so I would do this, just try to imagine, so you're in the ring. So what I would do, I would run the ropes, I'll lie flat on my stomach, then there's a bag in the middle, I'll jump over the bag, stand up, then I'll run the rope. So that's half a round. Then I'll do 10 rounds of that.
That sounds painful, Neil.
Yeah, so I would say it's like running and burpees at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just for my cardio. Then I'll also do like cardio drills plus like memorization drills.
Yeah.
So there's certain sequences that you need to memorize when you become a wrestler. So just to make sure that we don't make any mistakes, because once you're performing live, that there is no room for error. So it's that constant like, okay, like I need to make sure that physically I can do this sequence, and also mentally I can memorize all of this.
And that's one thing I'm quite curious about. I mean, is it always sequential? Are there like ad-libs during the act?
Yeah, so it depends on, I guess, experience level.
Yeah.
So when you first start off, normally everything will be planned out,
Yep.
because you just don't want to make any mistakes for like your first match ever. But as you progress in your career, that's where there's room for improvisation, and it's important to know what your character is, so that at any given time you can just be like, okay, yeah, this is what my character will do at this point.
Wow.
So I don't really need to like plan everything out backstage.
Daniel has kindly brought in his actual belt. It's the first time I've seen a championship
Yeah.
wrestling belt.
It's heavy.
It's the SPWC champion. He's
Yes.
the
Yep.
ASEAN champion.
Yep.
Tell us about that journey. What was the battle like? How did you win? How exciting it was?
Yeah, so I'm the first ever Singapore wrestler to win the 3 major titles in SPW.
That's fantastic.
You hear it here first
well
time.
done. Fantastic.
You heard it here.
So I've won the SPW Southeast Asian Tag Team Championship with my partner Dr. Gore. Awesome wrestling name. I'm also the former SPW Singapore champion.
Yeah.
So this title was the major title that I would consider is like our top prize. I think the journey was pretty tough, because in 2023 I almost quit pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I just thought like there's not really much that I want to accomplish, and I kind of thought like, okay, like maybe the Southeast Asia Championship isn't something that is meant for me. It's just that a lot of people talked me out of it. One being the statement Andrew Tang, who I really thank for keeping me in pro wrestling. My mom told me like, you've been wanting this since you were 13. Like, why are you going to quit now? So I think with all of the support that I got from my friends, my family, my fellow wrestlers, I'm really glad that I stuck through, because winning this championship is not only for me, but it's also for them.
Oh, it's so worthwhile. And it's so inspirational to know that your parents support you as well. So what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind?
I would say that, I think for my fellow wrestlers, I just want to let them know that if you put in the work and if you believe in yourself, I mean, like everybody says it, but I truly believe that if you put in the work, believe in yourself, you will get to where you want to go. And sometimes there's that feeling of, okay, is it really accomplishable? Is it something that's just like completely impossible? It's just that it's really just about like grinding, like making sure that you just see where your goal is, and just grabbing it.
Fantastic. Inspirational stuff. Daniel, before we let you go, Seed Champion, we always finish this segment with fast fire questions. 6 fitness questions.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I'll kick things off. I'll go first. What's your typical weekly gym routine look like?
It's all in the wrestling ring. I don't really go to the gym. Okay, so the thing is, like, I would like to go to the gym just for aesthetics, but in terms of like my wrestling, I think the ring is all I need.
All right, fantastic. What's your favorite healthy meal and why?
A healthy meal, I'll go for fruits, but to be honest, like, I normally just go to the nasi padang stall nearby.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
Good lad. I'm starving.
Get me something, the butcher man.
Yeah. What's your favorite exercise or workout?
I would say like push-ups is something that I always go to, whether I'm like nervous before a match Or if, let's say, I'm just preparing for a match, like I would normally resort to push-ups. You know, those like dive push-ups or like diamond push-ups.
All right. Now, this is something that we'll have to rejig a little because it's mainly for gym. But I'm going to talk about maybe the gyms at, say, for example, the studio, right? What is one thing other users of the wrestling gym should do better?
Or something that really annoys you.
Something that annoys you about gym or fitness etiquette.
I think, okay, so like when we have training, when someone is speaking or like explaining a technique, then others will like discuss amongst themselves. So like I feel like the learners should actually just like focus on what the trainer is saying so that they can grasp the concepts better.
Fantastic. What's your number one health or fitness tip?
Do I have a health or fitness tip? I think just have love and respect for your fitness so that you can strive to be the best. I think that's the best tip I can give.
I love that. And finally, what motivates you to stay on your fitness journey?
I think all the people that is within my support system, those are the people that I fight for, and it will be a disservice to them if I don't stick to my fitness journey.
I love that, something new. That's been such a fascinating story. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Da Butcherman, a full-time first aid trainer as well as a pro wrestler. If anyone would like to find out more about you, what can they search for on the social media?
So on Instagram, you can find me at @the_Butcherman, so DA for Da. You can find me on Facebook, Da Butcherman, and on Twitter, you just need to add an extra N because someone else stole that name.
And I see you have your own merchandise.
Yes,
He's got Da Butcherman T-shirts. I like
Very
that.
nice.
People can get that merchandise.
Yes, you can. I'm going to release it soon. Honestly speaking, I think this is like one of my best designs.
It looks very nice.
Yeah, like definitely want to sell that.
And there you have it. That's our current SPWC champion on the Thank Fitness It's Friday segment. Keep it right here with us on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.